Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of game news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, which at this time it's catching up with XCOM 2 in terms of gameplay series, and of course it's always on par with the gaming, the daily episodes here. Of course, channel update is for channel update on YouTube. I usually don't post them on Rumble. And yeah, also the post archive stuff there on the blogger stuff, and everything I do it's also on Patreon for extra support. And yeah, basically at this moment, and we'll see if I can manage to get around putting an episode of gameplay series. It's been a while since I posted one of those. Again, as I mentioned on the channel update, it's not cancelled. It's just getting around on expecting the lower workloads that I have, so I can have more spare time to get around and do some gameplay series recordings there. Not much happening, at least for today, that caught my eye, except some interesting one from Square-Enix. Supposedly they will aggressively use AI for game development and publishing, which will not bode well. I think this is the CEO. At least from the article, it seems that this is a CEO. There's been some rumblings in Square-Enix. Like last year, they were all about this, all the acronyms that the tech chaps and guys and all that jazz, from NFTs to everything. And yeah, this will not go well. People don't want these kind of things in games. It will not go well. But yeah, basically it's from the letters that they sent to investors, from the CEO, from the overall arching plans for 2024, and yeah, they are pledging they're going to use AI supposedly to help streamline its game development and the publishing divisions, which is by itself very broad. And so I assume there is no specific plans on how they are going to supposedly integrate AI. And when you are very broad on these kind of terms, it starts to get around and put your the persons that work for you in the company, especially developers that do all the hard work. Quite afraid that there might being some layoffs in the horizon. But yeah, AI from developers, they say AI can be helpful in some aspects of game development. Again, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know the difficulties and the challenges that come around developing a game. But I suppose AI could help out, for example, in troubleshooting, and help out a little bit on quality assurance in detecting, for example, I don't know if it's possible, for example, detect artifacts or performance issues. For example, you put yourself a target for the AI to detect, for example, if the game runs smoothly on all the levels, let's say. That way, to avoid, for example, vertical stuttering on loading scenes and everything. I don't know if it's capable of doing that. It will remove some burdensome work, because or else you have to put a person just play through the game, and usually the time-consuming aspect of it, I think it's more worth it than having hundreds of people just to check if the game runs smooth or not. I think that's one of the big things, at least from the perception that I have regarding development of a game, that might be useful. But then again, these guys usually don't know what they are doing, because they are not game developers, and they don't usually understand the creative process behind developing anything that is creative. And AI, I think it's not even AI. This is basically machine learning. It's mostly based on algorithms. Again, GAI, which is general artificial intelligence, is completely different, and people tend to confuse what AI is and basically what it's doing here. It's machine learning with a lot of algorithms attend to it to do specific tasks. It's not AI. AI, it's completely different thing. But yeah, basically, it's machine learning to automate certain tasks. And I think people are a little bit worried also with the fact that they might remove the artistic work, for example, creating levels. We already have to a certain degree that with Unreal Engine 5, where the machine learning, the algorithms inside the engine itself, they pick basically a sample hand-drawn or handmade, and they can basically expand that thing. There was the tech demo from the jungle level there that they have. They showed off. So there was like a square or a cube, let's say, of handcrafted environment, and then they have like a toggle, I suppose, to expand that to a certain degree, and they used all the materials that the artist made by hand, and they basically expand that to a certain degree. I think it's useful on that more boring work, which is like creating 3x3 and planting trees, single-handed trees in the environments, which basically was how it was made, and still it's made to a certain degree. I think it could be a good help there, especially on smaller studios. They can have let's say a more production value on the games that they do. But yeah, I don't know, but I don't like very much of them having the idea of replacing developers and the creative work that and the added value that they do on a game developing process there, and replace it with machine and machine learning, because for once gamers will not like, including me, in that sense, and you will start noticing. It's like the same thing with the AI photography. All the humans seems very weird. There is also something off when those algorithms from ChatGPTs and all that jazz that they I don't know the names, that they do the images. There is always something off, and we're talking about only images. So you might imagine how it can work in 3D environments, movement that happens in the environments. I don't think this is going to be a good choice. They might start off with like a new IP here and there, so they don't take the chance of damaging a big IP. In Square-Enix, might do like a very small IP, unknown IP, and try to get around and use a lot of AI machine learning, and it's going to flop. And they will have to a certain degree backtrack because people will not like it, and even inside the company, it's a point of friction regarding that, because it basically it threatens people jobs, and and it ramps up the stresses that the developers have, that they have on their shadow, that they might be replaced by an algorithm, which by itself it's must be a little bit weird, at least. But yeah, the continuing with the letter and with some quotes here, the guy from Square-Enix, the CEO, we also intend to be aggressive in applying AI and other cutting-edge technology to both our content development and our publishing functions. Which again, it's very broad. It's, the president said, Takashi Kiro, in a recent interview, New Year's letter to investors. He also said new forms of content, which is, yeah, it is very weird because it can refer to anything. I don't know if it has to do with the previous president because of the NFTs or blockchain integration, or even user-generated content economies. Yeah, I don't see a bright future regarding that. But then again, as I said, in some specific cases, the same way that any kind of technology, even for in gaming, like for example the LSSS, which is deep learning super sampling, which is basically machine learning algorithms working there in the background, and frame generation, which basically it's also a lot of algorithms working together, computing a lot of pixels and vectors and whatever, and motion vectors can be helpful in specific situations, but in an overall term, just relying on those ones, it will not work out very well, and especially on game development. I don't see the reason of replacing an artist in gaming development regarding how even the levels and what you're going to do. You're going to replace storytellers with AI and create a mumbo jumbo of stuff that doesn't make sense. Because good games, they have a good story and they approach themes in a way that makes you think about the subjects. It's the same thing trying to imagine, okay, now From Software with all their themes approach and how they tell a story, let's put that through an algorithm and hope for the best. It will not work. It's something that I really don't like. But then again, Square-Enix, it has Final Fantasy pedigree. Even Nier Automata, they publish a lot of these games, and I don't know, this is not going to work out very well in the long term. I think they will reach the conclusion it can be implemented, for example, in refining quality assurance in certain things. Like I said, like in terms of checking performance, checking if there is any kind of issues regarding the game itself after the game is finished. It can help out in certain ways regarding like very tedious and monotonous work that it can be offloaded to an algorithm that is of course controlled by the developers themselves to help out, and maybe with that you can shrink a little bit the game development time of the game. I'm not saying they're going to, instead of taking 5 years, they're going to take just 1 year. But if you can shorten from at least a fifth of the time in game development process regarding with the AI tools, the budget will decrease a little bit, which is good in overall terms. So the game, it's cheaper to make, and you, to a certain degree, you can output more games throughout the pipeline of in terms of publishing. But yeah. I don't see very good if they're going all in, because already the previous president also, as I said, the previous Square pledged support for practically every buzzword, laden acronym or tech breakthrough of our modern age, from AI, XR, NFTs, blockchains, all that shit that doesn't have basically any kind of application on the game, because people will not play games forever. I don't know what blockchain technology can be associated with a game. I don't know what it does, and even if it is a live service. NFTs, for me, it's a bust. It may be good in terms of as an idea for digital things, but to a certain degree, with digital you can copy paste stuff, you know. It's like a NFT of a JPEG. It doesn't work in principle. But yeah, XR, I don't know what it is augmented reality or something like that. And of course AI stuff, which is machine learning at this stage of development regarding the great goal of general artificial intelligence, which is going to be our doom. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is going to work very well. I think give it 2-3 maximum quarters, 2 quarters, and I don't know if they have anything on the back burner to come out this year regarding this kind of implementation of these things. I don't know if they already started implementing. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is not going to work out very well. There might be like a small experience that seems a little bit cute, but in overall scheme of things, I don't see very intricate and complicated in terms of development and games coming out being done by machine learning. It's not going to work out. But yeah, this is my rant to start off the year to a certain degree. This is not good. The only thing is that at this moment in time, Take-Two Interactive CEO warns that yeah, it's like a double-edged sword, artificial intelligence in game development, because at this moment, at least at this moment, I have to, because we never know. AI will never do fine, granular, and backbreaking iterative work of principal games developers, which is true. I think at this moment in time can be a good tool for to check for errors and to check for performance issues, more in the Q&A kind of a thing there, which is very time consuming, because I assume when you are Q&A testing a game, you give to a guy or to a person to test run the game in its entirety, and usually it's impossible to do so, and check that there is any problems in terms of performance, in terms of bugs, in terms of patches need to be done before launch. It's a very time-consuming, and I think it can be helped out with AI, of course, with supervision of a human eye and human brain on the background. I think it's a good tool that can be used in that specific scenario. And again, in terms of game development, I assume that can be helpful also in creating assets and all that stuff there. But yeah, that's my rant for today. And I only have now gaming deals. Escape Academy is up. Seems like the leak that we covered yesterday is on track of being right. So it will be Plague Tale Innocence and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy game will come up in the next few days. At this moment, it's Escape Academy. Tomorrow I will cover the next one. So pay attention on the Epic Game Store free games there. Again, I will leave everything in the description below. And on Steam, I'm just going from some AAA games. Some of them they're already bought, which is one of them is Elden Ring. I don't see this coming. I think they are preparing people for the expansion to buy more. That's why they put this promotion, because I never saw this game. I don't think so. This low. I don't remember. Maybe one time in the beginning of previous year, maybe. But it's rare that From Software games are on promotion, because they are that good in terms of quality. But yeah, I took advantage and I took a chance, so I can save a little bit on the. I bought just the base game. The deluxe edition is a little bit too much for me at this moment. I saved the difference here to buy other games in this winter sale. We got Dead Space also. That's one of the games that helped me a little bit. That difference, and some more went for here, 60% off, which is pretty good. The game will make 1 year by the end of this month. I think you still have some issues in vertical. Transversal stutters on the game, which is usually when you approach doors and the game is loading on behind. I think this is from the engine itself, from the upgrades that they had. I think they couldn't still get around this, because Star Wars Jedi things also I think has some those issues, but we'll see if there is a way to mitigate this. This is one of the games that I'm see if I can choose if I'm going to play this one or not starting this month. We'll see how it goes, but it's one of those that I really want to replay, because I played the original several times and I pretty much enjoy it. We got also The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. Again, the way to go, it's complete edition. I think this year they're going to unlock fully the not the code, but the modding tools and the creation tools. I think they're going to be like fully unlocked for people to mess around with the game a little bit more. And again, you got huge amounts of mods, you got the next gen upgrades, everything is included there. And again, I advise people, if you want to on a first playthrough to go for with mods, just go for like texture packs and only visual enhancements here. And then in the second run, then I think it's good to try out some of those gameplay tweaks and mods that there are, for example, in Access mod. We got also the Resident Evil franchise. Again, I will put all the links of all the Resident Evils that are on promotion. I still didn't bought Resident Evil 4 remake, because I want to go around and do the Resident Evil 7 and 8 first in terms of gameplays. so I'll wait to be a little bit more cheaper. But I did manage to get around and buy Resident Evil Village for me to do the duology here. So it's the sequel to Resident Evil 7. We got also Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, 75% off, very cheap. It has all the DLC that was from the Zero Dawn game here. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, 67% off. We got Atomic Heart, 50% off. I think the Gold Edition is the best one because it brings all the playable DLC. And I think the second one, yeah, they have here. I think they have, yeah, the plan. Yeah, this is the yeah, this is the thing from 2023. But it's coming out in this quarter, the second DLC, if not mistaken. But yeah, it seems a pretty good game. Again, I didn't even try the demo. I got so many stuff to do. I was hoping to do like a demo gameplay or something like that, but I will wait to buy the full game and experience everything, the full experience there, so I don't start in the middle of something and I don't have the context there. We got also Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, again 50% off. It's usually the best that you can get from software games. But yeah, it's one of those that I will try in one of these days. It's a lot of stuff to catch up, but yeah, I will at least buy him because I really want to try out this game. We got also Hogwarts Legacy, 50% off. The deluxe edition, it's got the Dark Arts pack. I think it's mostly skins here, but yeah, pretty good game. All the reviews are very positive. One of the best selling games of the last year, so it said something regarding the quality of the game. We got Cyberpunk now with the Ultimate Edition, which brings the Phantom Liberty and all the shiny updates that comes with it, and more. I think with this Ultimate Edition, the Phantom Liberty story, it brings the Relic 3 stuff and a lot of stuff that is not available on the base game, even though the base game, it's huge leaps and bounds, way better than the launch, of course. And it's a decent price here, 43% off. I think it's the best option here to buy the game. I think it's well worth it. We got also God of War, 50% off. Again, it's one of those that I would like to try out. I never tried the older God of War games because it's not kind of my style there. But this one seems pretty interesting, at least the story-wise, how it goes about. It seems pretty interesting. We got also Lords of the Fallen. Again, it also got always got some mixed results here, but people that they enjoy very much. At least that's the perception that I have, and I will buy it one of these days to try out because I'm very curious in trying out this game, regardless if it has mixed reviews or not, or impressions. The same way that Callisto Protocol. I want to try out that game. I have to give it a go. We got also Lies of Pi or P. Lies of P. I think it's better said Lies of P. You got 20% off. Again, this is a very... it came out this September last year, so it is what it is. I'm not sure the bundles here. Deluxe upgrade, I don't know what it brings. Not for sure. Yep, wait a minute, we can check here because I didn't know. Okay, early access, it's gone. Base game, mischievous clothes, it's some skins here. Yeah, it's some skins. So if you just want the base game, it's okay. 20% off, and yeah, very positive reviews. Very, it's like a mix with, in terms of gameplay, kind of Bloodborne-y and Sekiro in the pairing, kind of a fight there, from what I understood. So it's and it's got its own twists in terms of gameplay, and story-wise seems to be pretty okay. So it's one of those that it's like a must-play to a certain degree. And I think they're going to launch DLC also, if not mistaken. And lastly, we got the Callisto Protocol, as I mentioned. Got a little bit more. The mixed results at the time was a lot about the performance. It was like a stutter fest at the beginning. But in terms of how the game handles itself, it seems it's basically almost corrected. The problem is it didn't sell that well, at least according to expectations, and the story left it a little bit on a cliffhanger, which is not that good. Again, people thought it was like a Dead Space kind of a thing, but it's more melee focused from what I understood in terms of combat. But yeah, it's one of those that I want to try out and see how it goes. You got a lot of stuff here, season pass and everything. I think they are going to just finish up the things that they said they're coming out, and basically I think it's I'm not sure if it's over because the guy left Craftcom, I forgot his name now. No, Striking Distance, sorry. Craftcom is the publisher. We'll see how it goes in terms of the IP itself, but I really want to try independently if it's going to continue or not. And yeah, for today guys, basically this is it. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. That extra support at this moment in time is for storage, which is basically to allow me to have backups of the projects that I do for my clients and some extra space for the stuff that I do for the channel. And basically this is it for today guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.